And somebody who is in the middle of that and throwing some hockey is Mike Myers, the president of the Worcester Railers Hockey Club. Mike, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me.
You've been a busy guy.
It's been a little bit busy, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're excited not only to have the Railers supporting the show along with Worcester Regional Airport, but excited with all that's happening on multiple fronts relating to the Railers Hockey Club and Cliff Rucker and the team that you've assembled. But a great opening night.
It was, yeah, it was something special. I mean, as you know, it's been a long lead up to opening night. So to finally get there and get past it was a huge accomplishment for our staff and obviously for Cliff and myself. And you know, our goal from day one was to sell it out and showcase the new organization and you know, let everybody experience what Railer hockey is going to be about, and we accomplished that goal. It was something that I'll never forget. Of course, it is a little bit like a wedding. You don't get to, we just watched a video of it yesterday, and I felt like I saw more of opening night in the 2.5-minute clip than I did on opening night. So, but it looked like we had a great time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Murray family, my immediate family, the four of us were part of the 12,135, and my parents, the siblings, and their families. But it was a phenomenal night. I mean, I think the experience, for the most part, was extremely positive. There's such a crowd. So there were a few lines for water and beer, but that's going to get worked out.
You know, I said, listen, that's a problem we're okay with having. If people are upset with that, you know, obviously we're working to those type of things.
And I know Sandy Dunn, the team are working on that, but I think everything I heard, you know, was overwhelmingly positive. And you couldn't have scripted the game any better. A win for the first time that a pro hockey team in Worcester had a win on opening day. So hopefully that's an omen.
Hopefully it is an omen. Well, you know, speaking of omens, we did make sure that it was October 14th that we started, not Friday the 13th. That was a definite. We didn't want to start on a you know, being superstitious. So yeah, big win, come from behind, you know, tying it up with a Bobby Orr style goal by, you know, Patrick McNally. I mean, just everything, just like you said, was just so well scripted, and the crowd was electric. It was really, for me, it was a throwback to, you know, 20-some years ago when the Ice Cats first started, when hockey was new to the city and people were excited and wanted to see what it was about. I felt like there was that sort of feeling, and to have a win and to have people really behind the team. That when we scored to tie the goal, the place exploded.
Oh yeah.
And then when we scored the game winner, which eventually was the game winner, you know, people were out of their seats, you know, cheering. So that was, for me, I looked over, and Cliff and Susan Rucker, you know, jumping up and down, and you know, it was definitely a feeling of, okay, we got to that point, we accomplished step one.
So win on opening night, team's off to a good start, trip out to Utah.
Yeah.
But we've got some games coming back.
We do.
We had a second game, but this weekend coming up, 3 games.
Yeah, we got our first 3-3, which is, you know, when you're in minor league sports.
Friday, Saturday,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a grind for the players and the staff, and everybody gets. But you know what? I think our staff is looking forward to it. I think our fan base is looking forward to it. You know, we had a big stretch in between opening night and our second game, and we did that for a reason. Let the guys get on the road, bond a little bit.
Representing Worcester and Central Mass out in Utah.
Absolutely.
In Colorado.
Yep. That polar logo is there for a reason. You know, it shows you know, where we're from, and so we're representing Worcester everywhere we go.
Polar Beverages, one of the big sponsors. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you know, that's a big part of it, and so to have, you know, 3 games back to back to back. Allows our fan base sort of really get engaged, get to know our players, get to know, and also let a different group of people, maybe not that weren't able to get to opening night, experience Railers hockey.
And so much of what the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, what Cliff Rucker is doing, it's about professional hockey, but with what's happening with the opening of the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center, youth. The youth leagues, girls and boys, the hockey for the college teams. It's about kind of multi-generations, getting involved in hockey, team activity, family activity, fun events. In terms of that multi-generation, on November 11th, you've got a couple of guys who were credited with creating the hockey phenomenon in New England back in the 70s. Tell us about that.
Well, so we got Bobby Orr and Derek Sanderson coming in, and yeah, talk about multi-generational. I mean,
Rectrix Aviation, I think, is part of this.
Rectrix Aviation is the sponsor, and Bobby's very closely tied with them. So it's, it dovetails nicely into what we're trying to do, which is, bring, like you said, multi-generational hockey fans back into the DCU Center, the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center, and really help grow the game. But yeah, November 11th we'll have them there. We drop in the puck. People will get a chance to see him. And I got to tell you, if New England has, certain hockey royalty, he is the king. Wow. And there's nobody else. I mean, you got Ray Bohr.
He might be the king of the game in the United States, Canada, around the world. Bobby Orr.
No, people they want to be near him.
A special guy. And Rectrix Aviation, the great chamber of business, helping grow the Worcester
and
Airport.
a great sponsor of Railers Hockey.
The owner of that business. So, in related to that whole idea of growing hockey and exposing people, of all people, and access to the opportunity to learn how to skate, there's a great program that you guys are running with the Worcester Public Schools, which is really something special from everything that I've heard from the kids, the parents, and even the Railers family that's participating. Tell us about that.
So this is
Skate to Success, right?
Skate to Success is the name of the program. This is really our flagship community outreach program. I've been involved in community relations for a long time, and every time I've been tasked with developing something or putting together a program, the first thing you want to do is, how can we make something unique? How can we make something that's impactful? How can we make something that's different from what the other guys are doing? And with this, having a rink and having the resources that we have now.
And it's a partnership with the Worcester Public Schools.
Yep.
And every Tuesday morning.
Yep. We take a group of fourth graders.
Fourth graders.
Yep.
50 to 100, is it?
Yeah, so we've had groups as small as 50. Well, I think 60 was our smallest group, and then 115 was our largest.
So these Worcester Public School students are bused to the school. They learn how to skate.
Yep.
Helmets.
Yep.
They get a Railers jersey.
Yep.
Feed them lunch. There's an academic component to it.
So the academic component is they learn about the ice and the building, and actually it's about creating really access to what's a public building in Worcester. And as you know, rinks are less and less available to urban settings. So having an urban set rink that's become a community center is extremely important. However, the reality is most of the children are still ones that are tied into the youth hockey and have been doing it, whether they're in the suburbs or whatever. But now we're bringing people into Worcester. We want people in Worcester to feel like this is their building too. So we want to have them come in, create access, just give them the experience. Let them take a quick sample of what it is to put skates on, how to tie skates, how important it is to fit correctly, how important it is to tie the skates tightly, how to put a helmet on, how to size up a helmet, and then they get out on the ice. And most of them start on buckets, and by the end, it's unbelievable the amount of growth and the feedback we've gotten from the teachers about what a great field trip it is has been overwhelming. The emails, the thank you cards, the feedback.
Yeah, I saw a few of the emails that Clifford forwarded to me. By the end of it, 2,500 fourth graders will participate in this program.
Yeah.
So a lot of good stuff.
Well, a lot of credit goes to, listen, we have some great partners at the WBDC. Craig Blaze and his crew were out there. This past Tuesday was a game day. Our coach and GM, Jamie Russell, still came out to talk to the kids.
Right.
But Craig Blaze and Roberta and the whole crew came out and were tying skates for the kids. They're one of our sponsors. They were part of getting that rink here, a huge part of it.
Right.
And you and I talk often about the collaboration. It really takes a collaboration of different businesses. Hanover Insurance is the presenting sponsor of the program, and Niche Hospitality provides the food for the children. So it really is all hands on deck. And not a local business, but Bill Tursky and CCM. Bill Tursky's a local guy that is a CCM executive that helped provide the helmets and skates for the kids to skate on.
In addition to the team opening, the 3 games this weekend, Bobby, you're coming on November 11th. We talked about the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center opening, the programs you're doing with the Worcester Public Schools, teaching kids to skate, the Skate to Success program. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Railers Tavern, which is open, as well as the Palladium, which something that Cliff Rucker acquired an ownership interest in and has made some substantial investments in as well. So let's talk with the Railers Tavern first.
Absolutely.
In addition to the opening night, it was also the opening night for the Railers Tavern right there on Commercial Street.
Yeah, it's run by Mike Cavino and Niche Hospitality.
Great chamber member business, a number of quality restaurants.
They do an unbelievable job, and Mike is so creative. And to walk into, and most people have been into 90 Commercial Street at one time or another.
All the different iterations and names and bars and it's been over the years. Yeah,
there's people will still come up to me and come up with one I hadn't heard. So, but to walk in there with the raised ceiling and leveled floor, large TVs, and we had a viewing party when the team was out in Colorado and Utah for the road games. And
that's really important. I mean, there are 38 TVs in Railers Tavern, but the whole point of the Railers Hockey Club was to build a community. And so now when the Railers are playing away games, like for example in Utah and Colorado, Railers fans and members came together. Cliff and his wife were there watching the Railers play on TV at the Tavern.
For me, this has been a long journey, just the past 19, 20 months or so with watching all these businesses sort of break ground to production to ribbon cuttings, and for Cliff and I to sit, we were sitting watching the game and a bunch of Railers fans around us, and he sat and he goes, this is pretty surreal. He goes, this was just an idea, just a little bit ago, and now we're watching our team in Colorado.
2 years.
So to have someone that's invested so much time have a second to sort of look back and go, wow, I can appreciate this moment, was pretty special. So it's a neat place. It's got a great vibe. The menu is spectacular. I've already picked out a couple of my favorites. It's a neat place to watch a game. Our staff has already been, I think, you can always tell when your staff is into something, because when you don't require them to be there, you just say, hey, we're doing this, and they come in numbers.
Right.
It's I think we had most of our staff at
for the fans, and just having that type of quality place downtown, even year round is going to be a real plus.
And it's open for lunch now.
And open for lunch now. In addition to that, it's been reported, Cliff took an ownership interest in the Palladium. A couple $1 million in investments and upgrades, but part of it was to expand the offerings, the venue offerings. And so since Cliff has taken over, numbered country shows coming, additional events, the idea to go from 30 or 40 events to 100 events, again, something which brings people into the city. Tell us about what's happened at the Palladium.
That is exciting. I mean, this is a city I came to as a college student, and I remember going to shows at the Palladium and having a great time. And over the years, it's become a little myopic. The heavy metal shows have sort of been
heavy metal shows an insane clown posse.
And working behind it for so many years, you see the lines of
which is great, but you've got a great venue. Open it up to a broader section.
I couldn't agree more. I'm
eclectic mix of offerings.
Absolutely, and I have an eclectic mix of music that I like to listen to. So, whether it's a country band this week, or a classic rock band the next week, or
John Pardee coming, Maine, so a nice mix.
There's a whole different mix, and there's different rap shows that'll be coming down the line as well. So you really get a chance to bring. One of the main things is, when Cliff was talking about acquiring these properties back there, and what to do with the Palladium if that was even on the docket, was you can't knock down a place like the Palladium, because Worcester looks for things that attract people from outside and outside.
And it's a magnificent venue, and if people who haven't been in there, the couple $1 million investment really is.
I'll tell you what, they stretch the dollar because it looks spectacular. The amount of upgrades and the paint and the new booths and rugs and smells great, and there's a feeling of a renaissance inside the building and there's a pride in it. And once you get that feeling and people want to go down there and you start getting the different music acts in there, I think you're going to see the Railers Tavern busier, and Dead Horse Hill busier, and Rice Violet, and all the places along the way.
Breeds activity.
Exactly.
So, well, good stuff. Well, Mike, I'm glad we got the bonus segment because there was a lot for us to get in, but Worcester RailersHC.com.
Yeah, RailersHC.com.
And, we're looking forward to what's going to be a great season. The team's playing hard, and a lot of exciting things going ahead, and we're going to have you back with the members of your team as well.